So how do biases and emotions influence our decision-making process?
In various, really in various ways. And that's kind of what I break down whenever I speak. I do a lot of public speaking and certainly in my book. But really with biases, there's two main general categories of biases. There's cognitive biases, and what they do is they influence the way we think about things. And oftentimes we call these shortcuts. Like our brain will make shortcuts in everyday life that it really helps us be very, very efficient. But those same shortcuts, when we apply them to financial management, investing, and so forth, it can cause us to make some poor decisions. There's also a category of emotional biases. Now, emotional biases influence how we feel about something. And so that's oftentimes what happens is when we see losses, like we look at our statements and we see it go down, when we see a loss once in a while, it's not a big deal. But when we see it happen over and over and over again, kind of like the financial crisis or whenever we get into kind of a tough time, a bear market maybe, it can be very difficult, and it makes us feel lousy. And what's interesting, and some of the most frustrating things when I speak, because I speak to both financial advisors and I speak to retail investors, the most frustrating aspect is that it can really influence our daily mood. It's like people get up, they look at their portfolio values, and if it went up, they feel good that day. Look how much money I made yesterday or this last week or this last month. And if it went down, they feel bad and they have a really bad day. But the problem is those returns in the short term, we have no control over them whatsoever. So why would you want the mood of your day or your week to be influenced by something that we have no control over anyway? I mean, we invest, but we invest for the long term. And everybody agrees, almost every investor agrees, yeah, I'm investing for the long term. But because of these biases and our emotions, we're very much focused on short-term results.